Righty, tighty, yeah, righty, tighty, lefty, loosey, yeah. Man. Done with another unsuccessful turkey hunt. Got 2 days left of season here in Wisconsin, but I'm already starting to think deer hunting. The whole time I walked in this morning, I was like, man, you know, some of these trees look pretty good to hunt out of. And then as soon as I got out here, kicked the deer out. I was tucked away right into this little corner here, kicked the deer out right out behind me, came around, nice little nubbin buck, got some fun footage of him, and it just got me thinking, you know, what am I going to start doing for deer hunting here? And I guess the first thing I'm going to do is find some new spots that are good for early season. That's always been a bane in my side, is early season, because I'm hunting this marshy area and it is full of mosquitoes. So I don't like hot temperatures. Right now it's probably like 72 or something, and I'm calling it quits. Not because there's no turkeys, but I'm uncomfortable and I'm hungry, and it's hot. I don't like it. So in early season, early September, it's always the same. It's always like 70 degrees, and I always like short distances to walk and for good areas. So finding those, especially on public land, is pretty tough because that's what everyone's looking for. So my best advice for that is have multiple spots. So if you're hunting public, or even if you're hunting private, I mean, you want to have multiple stand locations. And if you don't have that, you know, you should try to figure that out. Even if you have only 20 acres, get 2 stands up for early season, just in case it's a different wind or it's a wrong wind, or you know, you notice they're coming in from a different side of the field or whatever. And early season, I'm always hunting food sources, so I'm taking that into account as well. So right here, I'm not entirely sure. Pretty sure this is going to be corn. I'm not very good at agriculture, but pretty sure it's going to be corn. So early season is not going to be that great for a food source, but it is for like a travel corridor. They love to be in corn. It's so tall, they can hide right away pretty easy. So I'm thinking, you know, some trees over here look pretty good. Some trees on the end down here look pretty good. So I'm constantly looking at, you know, where am I going to sit in the fall? Especially right now, I'm thinking early season, because late season I already have a few rut spots picked out that I really like. So that's the big piece. And then also, if you do have some tree stands right now and you've had them in the same spot for like 3, 4, 5 years, you might want to move them, because deer do actually figure that out. You know, if you're constantly getting busted and you're like, why am I getting busted? They shouldn't smell me, they shouldn't anything. Well, if you have the same tree stand in the same tree year over year, and they figure it out, they're not that dumb. So, and especially, you know, you get that little nubbin buck in, or that little fork that you kind of play around with, and you grunt at him and whatever during the rut, and he notices you then, and you're like, ah, whatever, he's a nubbin. Well, next year, you know, he's an 8-pointer, the year after he's a 10-pointer, and then all of a sudden he's a deer that you really want to kill, but he knows exactly where you are. So, you know, trying to keep those adjustments, or keep that flexibility moving, or the variety, I should say, variety in your tree stands. Even if you're only moving at 20 yards, it definitely just gives them something different to look at and something different to look for, which is always good. So I'm focused on early season. So I'm thinking, you know, some good trees, some good fields, some food sources. You're really looking for soybeans, apples, any food plots that you're planting. Those are like acorns. Acorns are huge. White oak acorns are big. Same with red oaks. They're both good. But if you're really trying to figure out a spot right now, find those food sources, and then find some good trees around them, and make sure you keep it a variety. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to start getting cameras out too, because I want to see this buck that I saw this morning had some little nubs going. So you know, they're already starting to grow antlers. So it'll be good to figure that out, where a lot of bucks are, where the bucks are early on, so I can start scratching some of those spots that you know, the variety of spots that I have, I can start scratching them off the list if they're not holding anything early season or throughout the summer. Because generally, their summer pattern is going to be what they're going to do as well in the early fall. So probably until the first week of October. So they usually keep that same pattern. So if you can pattern them now, it'll most likely be very similar during season. So that's kind of it for me today. Gonna wrap this up. Turkey hunting, man, turkey hunting on public land when they're not responsive to calls and they hate decoys, it's tough. It's tough. It's getting to me. It's like, I think this is the 7th day, and I've shot 2. I've shot 2 and both of them, like, the pellets just like bounced right off of them. the BBs, like, I don't even know what happened. Like, they were 50, 60, 70 yards and I plugged them and they just kind of looked at me like, oh, thanks, was that a BB gun? You know, it's like, come on, you should have died. But both of those were actually like spot and stalk scenarios, and it worked, but it's hard because spot and stalking a turkey is not easy. If you ever want to try it, or if you ever want to know, just go try it. It's not easy. And I don't do any of it's a public land, so I'm not doing any like the fan decoys or anything like that, because you never know who else is out here. And then also, you know, they're running away from calls and they're running away from decoys, so I don't know. I don't know what to do, so I'm just kind of hanging out and hunting them like deer, actually, being more patient and just sitting on these field edges and hoping that they walk by me. But got 2 days left. We'll see how it goes. I have hopes that I'll get one. I'll still try. But anyway, time for some B-roll of this morning's hunt. Hope you guys like it, and catch you next time. There goes a turkey right there. Son of a bitch. This is not supposed to look like this. Just kind of broke this morning. So it's going in the garbage, just like the other one that I broke last week.